So this is the Southwestern Bell telephone directory from Victoria, Texas, January 1979, and this may be interesting to you. First off, if you live in Victoria, Texas. Second off, if you like history, or if you want to see an item that used to be an essential part of the household that really no longer exists, at least not in the way it did then. For comparison, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a telephone directory from today. But this is a smaller one, so, and I think it's interesting. I mean, some of these phone books back in the day were, huge. I mean, they were as big as dictionaries, and sometimes there would be two, one just for the wet pages and one for the yellow pages, depending on the city you lived in. You can see the cover art on it, which I'm not sure if the same cover art went out to all cities or if it was a regional thing, but this picture with the blue bonnets and so forth makes me think of Texas. So my guess is this was a Texas or regional specific cover art. I can't imagine that the phone books in upper state New York would have this cover art on it, but maybe they did. That I don't remember because I was pretty young in 1979. But I do remember 1979, and I remember how important phone books were. So if you flip it over, you'll see that there was an offer to buy phones from the phone company. In 1979, it was hard to just go buy yourself a phone at Kmart or Walmart. Now, in the 80s, 90s, that you started seeing that, but now, of course, you don't see it again because the landlines are becoming more and more scarce. But at the time, these were the colors and styles of the phones you could choose from. And you had a color chart and you had your styles of phones. It says decorate your home. So we had a phone of that color and of that style, and we had a rotary dial. We didn't have the touch tone, the touch keys. We always had a rotary dial when I was growing up. We never liked the touch keys. So there's two parts of this phone book. Well, actually, there's three parts. There's one part that's sort of an information section, which just tells you facts about Victoria, Texas, and so forth. The second part is the white pages, which was all the local private residences. And the third part was the yellow pages, which was the commercial part of the phone book, which were the services and businesses, sometimes with artwork or descriptions of what they did. And when the days before the internet and cell phones and Google and everything, this was your source to find businesses in your area, how to connect with them, what they did, and so forth. It began and ended with this book right here. We just had a whole different way of living back then before the internet. So let's start. We have the 911 thing in the beginning, and then there was a place for you to add in your doctor information. We even have the U.S. Secret Service. Then we have our table of contents and frequently called numbers for you to put in if you wanted to put your friends and so forth. It tells you types of long distance calls, and at this time you could still call the operator, connect with an operator, and have the operator go through every step of placing the call for you. But it does have instructions. And here's Texas specific rates and long distance. And here's all the area codes for different cities. Here's a map which shows the United States and all the area codes. Like some of these no longer are in effect. This is old information. Interesting. We have general information about telephones, annoyance calls. Listen to this. Section 42.07 of the Texas Penal Code provides that a person commits an offense if he intentionally communicates by telephone in vulgar, profane, obscene, or indecent language in a coarse and offensive manner or threatening language, and by this action intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly annoys or alarms or intends to alarm the recipient. And it is, they cover everything, and I don't know if any of this is still in effect. Misuse of service with my cell phone and all of the spam calls that are coming these days. I don't know if any of these rules are still in effect. And here's a little map of Victoria, Texas. And if in case you're wondering, yes, I did live in Texas. Uh, and I moved to Texas in 1980, and I stayed in Texas until 1990 or 91, and then I lived in Texas again in the mid 90s and all the way till about 2000. So I know a lot about Texas. I took Texas history classes. I'm familiar with the town of Victoria. So if you're living in Victoria right now, you can see, how it's probably changed a lot. Trail of Six Flags Monument, um, Trail of Six Flags Theater, Victoria College, Victoria Country Club, the Texas Zoo, University of Houston Victoria Center, rodeo grounds. Yeah, my very first rodeo was in Texas that I went to. So let's learn a little bit about Victoria here. 22 miles inland from the Gulf of Mexico on the banks of the Guadalupe River in the fertile coastal plains of the Texas Gulf Crescent, Victoria prospers as an agricultural, ranching, oil, industrial, distribution, and recreational center. With a population more than doubled in the past decade, Victoria has assumed stature as a thriving city with agriculture, oil, and industrialization launching the rapid growth, which is continuing at a spectacular pace. At the crossroads of two major international highways, and when they say international, they mean between Texas and Mexico, Victoria is also the center of a recreational playground. The mild, pleasant, semi-tropical climate is ideal for year-round fishing, swimming, boating, and beach activities over the nearby Gulf in summer, and hunting during the fall and winter. Nearby Fannin Battlefield, La Bahia Mission, Old Indianola, and the other sites provide varied historical interest. The Spanish explorer Alvar Nunez Cabeza de Vaca and a few other survivors of the Narvaez expedition were probably the first white men to set foot on what is now Texas soil in the vicinity of Victoria. The year was about 1534. Some 300 years were to pass before Don Martin de Leon, a Mexican colonizer, established the city of Guadalupe, Victoria, in 1824 with 41 families in the original colony. The present-day main street was named Calle de los Diez Amigos, the Street of 10 Friends, which is symbolic of the city's friendliness today. The beef cattle industry of the United States had its origin in Victoria County. The first cattle ranch was Mission Espiritu Santo, located in Mission Valley. Prior to the American Revolution, cattle drives were made from here to Natchitoches, Louisiana, and Saltillo, Mexico. Victoria is now in its third century as a producer of beef. Modern buildings and homes rise today in Victoria on grounds once trod only by fierce Indian tribes. Surrounded by fields of grain and cotton interspersed with oil derricks, cattle ranches, and industrial plants, Victoria surges ahead to ever-increasing importance in the new industrial frontier of the country. And it's got interesting facts about Victoria. As a result of the mode of travel in the days of colonization, Victoria is a hub city in a wheel of cities with a radius averaging 25 miles that offers various recreational facilities. And it goes on, and I'm just going to kind of hold it here. So if you're interested to continue reading, you can pause the video. But I wanted to kind of get on with to continue to flip through. Helpful telephone tips, how to save time and money when you call, how to connect or disconnect your phone. And I'm turning the camera away from the web pages because there is a possibility that someone still has this number. So we are going to flip ahead to the yellow pages. Although I think the chances of someone still having this number are close to zero, but it is a possibility. So we got the cheapest way to get around town with your telephone, and how to be a better buyer. This is some tips on navigating the yellow pages. Now it's time to let your fingers do the walking, and let's go through the yellow pages. And how to use when you want to buy something, when you want to find a brand name product or service, when you've forgotten a business's firm's name but remember the address, and it tells you to turn to like the classification, like if you're looking for a laundry or so forth, even when you know the name. And please remember, the yellow pages not only tell who buys, sells, rents, repairs, they also provide much helpful information on the products and services handled by individual firms. All right. Looking for something in Yellow Pages? Use the index first. Now, this is just the index that will direct you to the headers for all of the different businesses and services. And now we got another ad for telephones. Okay. Now let's just flip through and see. We get an idea of the businesses and what I'm hoping we'll come across, or maybe some things that don't even really exist now, because it's been quite a long time. But, we got abrasives, abstractors, abstract title insurance, lawyers, title agency, Stewart Title Guarantee, Titles Incorporated. I, and with a master's degree and everything, I still have never heard the term abstractors in this context, which is interesting. Now we get to accountants, certified public accountants, accounting and bookkeeping machines and supplies, which mostly nowadays, if you're an accountant, that is called Excel. Acetylene. There's a whole heading for acetylene. I guess this is an industrial place, so you're going to need that. Adjusters, adoption agencies. Advertising. All the advertising firms. Air conditioning contractors, air cargo, York Air Conditioning. And then we get to some of these cool old 70s ads. See the hot guy drinking his iced tea. Rayburn Air Conditioning and Refrigeration. A lot of air conditioning. This is a hot part of Texas. I can tell you that from experience. Airline tickets. Look at that sleek Concorde looking airplane on the ad here. The Concorde, which no longer flies. Beechcraft, airplanes. Now we're getting into antiques. Not So New Shop, Griffith's Antiques. South Texas Archery. Complete Pro Shop, regulation, indoor shooting range, lessons available. That's a fairly specific sporting shop right there. Six Flags Motel. These are places to live, apartments and motels where you could rent. Artificial larynx. Interesting. Artificial eyelashes. Art needlework and materials. All the associations, all the attorneys, auctioneers. That's nowadays you see so many more attorneys and so many more attorney ads, and you just didn't see that back then. Auto painting. Look at these old pickup trucks and cars. Ronnie Speed shot with a picture of Fred Flintstone on it. I wonder. That's interesting. Lions Auto Parts. Jack's Auto Parts. And another interesting thing, if you are in advertising or marketing, you're getting a good example of all the interesting clip art from the 70s. Whether it's these cars or other pictures that when they ordered the ad, they would pick. And, see, this car is obviously from the 50s, but they're still using this clip art. Hair design. Here we go, hair stuff. Look at that, all these seat covers. You just don't see seat covers anymore as a business. But think about the old 50s cars and how important seat covers were for them. All the hair places, and look at the old hairstyles that they were promoting here. Houston House of Hair Weaving. JCPenney Beauty Salon. Yeah, back in the day, you go into JCPenney and they had a beauty salon in there. My grandma would go in there, get her hair done. Beer distribution. Lone Star, Olympia, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Falstaff, I don't believe exists anymore. Pearl Light definitely doesn't exist. Country Club May, Shiner, Holiday Hill Boats and Trailers, Alamo Bookshop, Victoria's Department Store for Reading, Bright and Formal, Delta Building Systems, Buildings, Go to the church of your choice. Take someone with you. You'll both be richer for it. Sponsored by Southwestern Bell Telephone Company. How about that? A lot of churches. Coin dealer. Office machines, old timey Canon copiers. Dance schools, home delivery. It's a dairy, milk delivery. No, that was this period was the end of milk delivery, but it still existed. But at this point, 1979, the old days of milk delivery had all but ended. World Food Imports. Bark and Purr Grooming Salon. All the pest control. Ceiling fans. Think about all of the specific businesses that don't exist anymore because we have all the big box stores. We go buy our ceiling fan. We install it ourselves, or we pay them to install it. And it's the same store that sells so many other things. But back then, they had a store that would just be for ceiling fans. Mortuaries and funeral homes. Phone ahead for reservations once we get to the restaurant section. Guns. Dick's Food Stores, gun headquarters. Interestingly, as I flip through this phone book, my fingers are drying. They're getting very dry. This paper just sort of sucks the water right off your fingers. I might need some moisturizer after this video is done. The Rock Quarry Jewelry on the Rocks. Green's Jewelers. And look at all of the local businesses. Sure, you had JCPenney and everything, but look at so many different local businesses. Jewelers and clothing stores and lumber yards and equipment stores. All of the local businesses that existed back in 1979. And now we're at a point where there's so few. There's a beef sales, or the beef industry they're talking about. Linden Hill Motel. When we get to motels and stuff, let's see if we see the big brands. Like nowadays, you see the same motels everywhere you go. You rarely see any of the old Route 66 ones, but now we got Best Western. Okay, sure, but you have Apache, you have Shellfish Inn, you have Cameron Motel, Christopher Inn, Downtown Motel. You got Holiday Inn, but you got Linden Hill Motel, Longhorn Motel, Motel Apache. You got your Ramada and your Roadway, but then we got Six Flags Hotel, Toda's Motel and Restaurant, Victoria Motel, Westerner Motel. There was a lot of choices. The Dewdrop Inn Tavern. Look at that. The Owl Lounge. Captain's Table, a cocktail lounge. I love these old lounge and bar ads. Office supplies. All the different office supply companies. If you work for a company now, you'll know that you generally have a contract with one, and it's generally going to be Staples or Granger or, then there's Office Max and Office Depot and all the other ones, and they put all the small places out of business. Wildcat Equipment. Dump Trucks, Texas Trucking Company. Oil fields, all the oil stuff for the oil industry, where to buy your dikes and all that. Derricks, not dikes, derricks and drilling and a lot of oil drilling companies. Wow. More oil drilling companies than there are hotels. Pawnbrokers. Prescriptions. Whenever we get to pharmacies. Pet grooming and physicians. Piano stores. Roto-Rooter Plumbing. Jim Dandy Plumbing Store. Texas Real Estate and Insurance. Village, Victoria, Texas. A rock, soul, country, Spanish posters, lights, incense, paraphernalia. Largest selections of tapes and cassettes. It's a music store, but it's 1979, so you got your incense and you got your funky stuff too. Craig's Sound Gallery. Large selection of records and tapes at low price. When they're talking tapes, we had cassettes at this point and 8 tracks. Mostly 8 tracks. Recruiting into the Army. Gyms, World of Fitness. Country Cottage, barbecue. Here we get to the fun stuff. Restaurants. Nolan Steakhouse. I just love restaurant ads. I really do. When you're in the mood for great Mexican food, Monterey House. Sonic. Oh gosh, look at the Sonic menu. Shakes and Malts. Sonic Burgers. Jalapeno burger, tater tots, onion rings, chili pie. So it's changed so much. The Brown Bag Barbecue. Abacus Chinese Restaurant. The Greek Connection. It's also a disco. Hungry Jack's. The Corral Real Pit Barbecue. Casa Ramico's Fine Mexican Food. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Mr. Gotti's Pizza. Pedro's Mexican Food. Steinhaus Garden German Beer Garden. How about that? One thing you might not know if you're not from Texas is there was a huge German population in Texas because around the Bastrop area, Germans had settled Texas back in 1800s, and there's still a huge German influence there. Not to mention the influence of Germany in Mexico itself. Maximilian was the leader. Tobert's Dairy Treat, Bonanza Steakhouse, I remember that. Fasadi's Delicatessen, JJ's Drive-Thru, Kettle Inn. Oh, Kettle Inn. Is that? No, that's different. But there was a restaurant called Kettle in Texas I used to love. Ann's Cafe, Donuts and More. Texas Drive-In, Fried Chicken and Shrimp. All these restaurant choices. Pelican's Wharf. I do remember that. The Baja Restaurant. This picture is 1979. You're planning your night out, choosing which one of these restaurants to go to, and something tells me the food probably tastes better then than it does now. All the service stations, sporting goods, Skateland Family Fun. Check out the old picture of Garfield. Oh my gosh, is that amazing or what? Pools of Victoria. Custom built swimming pools. Answering services. Lots of answering services. This was in days before answering machines and Star 69 and cell phones and everything. Answering services were a necessity. Televisions. Vacuum cleaners. Water well drilling. Water beds. Not something you see too much nowadays. A lot of people have water beds. Kind of a pain. Wrecker services. And we get down to the end. Kick the number, fumber habit. If misplaced telephone numbers give you problems, here are suggestions that can help you. Okay, so you've just seen a 1979 Victoria, Texas phone book. So let's just compare it real quick to a phone book from today. And it's got a magnet on it. It's got a law firm or something on it. And they don't even bother separating white and yellow pages anymore because it's too expensive to buy the yellow paper. There's just not enough white pages to put in there now. So everything's white. But like the other one, it's got an ad on the inside cover. It's got your important numbers in the beginning. Table of contents and about the yellow pages. They're no longer yellow. I don't even think they have residences anymore. Still has the area code map. But it doesn't have the history or anything. It doesn't have all the cool customization that it used to have. And we, flip through basically the white yellow pages here. It's just not the same, is it? This is the paper is so flimsy. Here we got your frequently called numbers. Wait, it is faintly yellow. I apologize. It is faintly yellow, but not very yellow. Now we see things that are more current, like drug and alcohol recovery. Lots of lawyers. So many lawyers. There was one page of lawyers on the other phone book. Collision repair. Car stuff. Security. Entertainment. Direct TV, dish, cell phone stuff. Chiropractic. Lots of medical stuff. Lots of churches. Lots of debt consolidation. More drug and alcohol treatment. Lots of drug and alcohol treatment. Do you get a sense of how things have changed? There's Alex Trebek, and he's hawking insurance. AT&T with Alex Trebek again, and boy, they just put that ad all over the place. And lots of medical stuff, lots and lots of mortgages, lots of stuff for people in debt. Here's a little pest control. Roto-Rooter, physicians, ranges and ovens, refrigerators, roofing contract. Wait, restaurants doesn't even get nothing. It's just, listen, they don't even bother printing ads anymore. I guess they feel like they don't need to now that they have Yelp and the internet. There's no restaurant ads. It's just Roto-Rooter and hey, look, they got a little puzzle in this one. Another cooks. It's kind of like just the same ads over and over again. There's no rhyme or reason. And that's the end of it. It's just not the same, is it? Well, 2 eras, 2 phone books. 2 different times. Things have changed. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. And, I'll see you next time. I was gone for a little while, but I'm back, and I will keep making videos. So hang in there and enjoy my channel. And please rate, comment, subscribe. Bye.